Hello, I'm Kristen, and today I'll be talking about a message that I received this morning during meditation about manifestation. So I was taking a shower, and this occasionally happens to me. I started to receive clairvoyant imagery while I had my eyes closed and I was washing my hair out. And at that time, I kind of opened my mind up to receiving messages from spirit or from God or my higher self, just anybody besides the normal living 3D me. And while I was doing that, this message came in. So I was quickly shown this picture of a dark brown humongous lodge, and so it had one either very dark brown or black um, like door that was right in the center of it, and then there were many windows that were on the lower level and then on the second floor, and all of the windows were all black. There was no light inside this lodge. And so at that point there was a voice that spoke to me, and it was a man's voice, and it said, "You will knock on many doors, but they will not open." And before I had a chance to really process what that meant at all, there was another image that started to come in. And it was immediately replacing Lodge with just this blonde woman who appeared to be about 30 years old. She had straight, medium length hair. She was wearing a long white dress, and she was standing just a few inches in front of me. And she looked very happy. And so she looked me in the eyes, and she turned around, and then she ran off ahead of me, and she started to kind of like run off into this large white misty space. And I saw her run, and then it almost seemed like she was like jumping off the edge of a cliff, or she was just jumping off the edge of a platform or something. She like almost like dove into this mist. And in the vision that I was given, I was almost like floating behind her, and I was like floating, being pulled into the space that she was in. And so I ended up in this mist, and all of a sudden it seemed almost more tactile rather than almost like a cloud, like I had seen her go into. And at that point, my mind was immediately like drawn to the idea of like the Matrix, when Neo goes into like the white room, and he's kind of learning about everything that he can have downloaded into his subconscious, or his consciousness. And so I was standing in this white room, and a message came through, but it was like claircognizant rather than having words. And it was this feeling of having to pull information into myself in this white space. And I am a follower of Neville Goddard, and so I practice state akin to sleep, like visualizing before I go to sleep. And certain nights it is quite difficult to visualize what it is that I would like to manifest into my life. And so I have also tried moving from visualization into practicing like the "Isn't It Wonderful" method, which is kind of just sitting with your thoughts and trying to embody this feeling that like everything in your life is wonderful, nothing is going wrong, just anything that you can imagine, from finances to interest to health to love to just everything is just, isn't it wonderful? Like there's absolutely nothing wrong. And so I had been also trying to practice that, except it was like in a black, dark void that I was trying to do this. And it seemed like this message in this white space was kind of like, don't put yourself in the darkness to do this. Like it's locking doors for you. And the message was coming through that like I should feel this energy of, isn't it wonderful, for all of these things just like kind of coming and soaking into me, like through the chest, almost like going directly into the heart or the heart chakra. And as that was happening in this vision, like I could literally like feel like this magnetic pull of just like good, wonderful energy coming into me. And I was reminded of Neville Goddard constantly focusing on like the I am concept. So anything that you would like to be or like to embody, you would just say I am, and then fill in the blank there. And so I had that feeling being in this white space of like just feeling a magnetic pull and saying like, I am loved, I am beautiful, I am healthy, I'm in need of nothing. And so that kind of cut out, and it felt like message was delivered. And before kind of the communication was stopped, of all things, I heard from that very old video, the Charlie bit my finger video, I just heard like Charlie. And again, with hearing that little boy's voice saying it and being reminded of that, which I haven't even thought of in years, and probably most people haven't, it seemed like there was a message that was coming through of like almost like the universe will give you like little bites, or the universe will test you or bring like small annoyances or small pieces of negativity, or maybe even large pieces of negativity into your life, but there's almost kind of like this like giggle following it. There's like almost like a little chuckle of like, yes, that happened, but in hindsight, like, isn't it funny? Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, you're after it's done and it's gone, it's like you move beyond it, and then you can look at it with humor. And so I just thought all of that all together was just really interesting about realizing that when you are knocking on a door, you can walk away from it when it's close to you, and you can kind of jump into the abyss, but a beautiful white, glowing, cloud-like, misty abyss, and you can kind of make something of yourself without having to rely on going to somebody else or something else or some other institution or whatever it is. It's just you can embody the feeling of everything it is that you want to be, and it will just kind of manifest into your life. And again, with that final message, it was I can do it with humor and realize that you can always kind of find the silver lining of the cloud once you've gotten yourself out of a bad situation. And so I thought that was really kind of useful advice, helpful advice. And I just wanted to come on here and share it as quickly as I could, because I thought that maybe if somebody else watches this, they might also find it to be useful to kind of use this method of going into this white space or this misty space, and just pulling in everything it is that they would love to have in their life and kind of waiting for it to come about. Um, so thank you so much for listening today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.